This is the Brain Software Podcast, episode 212, coming at you from the Hypnotic World Epicenter, Toronto, Canada. I'm Chris Thompson, and today, NLP and hypnosis trainer Mike Mandel and I are going to talk about building super self-confidence. So stay tuned.
Disclaimer. Watching or listening to this podcast might give you the tools to have a better, more fulfilling life than your friends and frenemies. If you can deal with that fact, keep listening. Lucci.
Yeah, how are you tonight? Thanks again. Before I get rocking on this podcast, I thought you'd like to know I nearly didn't get to do this intro because we had a snowstorm last night. The power lines are all down. Hey, Screw, I know what's coming next, man. The power lines are down. The bridge is washed out. The phone calls are coming from inside the house, pouch. Yeah, thanks again for that, Dave. I'm just doing my best up here in Meaford, which is all you can really ask of anybody. I know, Scro. Whatever happened to that old tranquility we used to know, man? Back in 1967, pouch.
These are days of victory.
Damn right they are. Now the duder's gone home and that. So anyway, take it away, Chris.
Thanks, Brado, and thanks, Dave. So let's welcome to center stage our fearless leader, Captain Self-Confidence himself, and the Keith Richards of hypnosis, Mike Mandel. Everybody, and he show.
Thanks again. Excellent, man. We are ready to rock and roll. And let's do a quick plug for AOH. We got a lot of stuff to get through today. And then we're going to talk about today all about self-confidence, how to build it, how to increase it, how to enjoy it.
All right. Well, this episode, if scheduled and launched correctly, should be October 7th, 2022, which means we are 3 weeks and a weekend away from the beginning of the Architecture of Hypnosis in Toronto. We're teaching it for the first time in 3 years. If it's not, I have no idea if it'll be sold out by the time we release this. So if it isn't, you'll want to check it on our website and make your plans to get your butt here. You've got 3 weeks to make your travel arrangements. You're going to spend 5 days with us, and you're going to learn hypnosis, and you're going to become very skilled at it. And it's going to boost your confidence.
Right on. So you know what we're going to do, Chris? Go right to the marketing story, and I'm going to save the other thing.
Oh, are you going to save that for the metaphor?
So take it away.
That's funny. Okay, so when Mike just got to my house this morning and we were about to go to the studio, I said, I have something I want to talk about on the podcast. So, all right, I haven't told you this at all.
Yeah, bring it on.
So as you know, I am a big fan of developing my skills in marketing over the years. Of course, it's been important to the growth of our business. And I'm a member of a great marketing program. It's kind of like a mini mastermind type of thing with some great training. And I'll give you the numbers, but I'm not going to say the company's name. This is still a work in progress, and I don't want to embarrass anybody for a bad
It's very nice
service. But this is about customer service and the way you should treat customers and how we believe it should be done. So I currently am on a plan. It's like $2,500 a year for this marketing training. And it's a very good program. I really enjoy it. Well, the company has decided to ditch the product. They don't want to run it anymore. Instead, they're consolidating around a different series of offers, and they've introduced a new offer. And the hints were all, you guys in this old offer are going to be very happy when we tell you how it works. So we just assumed what they'll probably do is keep the price the same for us and move us into the new.
Grandfather you in.
Yeah, grandfather us in, even though this new one is being sold at like $15,000. Well, okay, here's what actually happened yesterday. They did a big release to us and said, all right, so what's actually happening is your prices are all going from wherever they are now, and there's a variety of different price points. I got in very early, so I'm paying, like I said, about $2,500 a year. You now need to move to this new plan, and it's $5,000 a year. So they doubled the price on everybody. At least.
So they just weren't making enough money, I guess.
I don't know well, they're offering more. There is more value, no question. But they've surprised everyone, said, oh, yeah, now we're charging you double. So some people, it makes sense. Like we have a team and you can put team members in there and all that. It's not a problem for us. But if you're a solo, let's say, consultant, you don't have a team behind you and you're just working as a consultant, that's a big price increase for no extra real benefit because you're not going to take advantage of these extra features. So people were pissed, and here's what
We'll edit that
happened.
out.
We've given them some good feedback, and I think they're going to take it back to the leaders and make some decisions. But if I think about price increases like Netflix, if they raise their prices, they don't just say, oh, yeah, we're charging you more now. They usually give you a heads up. You can cancel if you want to, of course, but they'll tell you, oh, the price increase is happening as of such and such a date. Also, if you were on an annual contract, Netflix doesn't do that, but a lot of services do annual contracts. And if you're on an annual contract, they should at least wait until the next annual payment happens.
Sure, yeah.
Honor the pricing that you're at until the end of that billing cycle. That gives you time to experience this new product, and then you can decide.
That makes complete sense.
That's the
yeah.
feedback we gave them, which is the most fair way to do this would be, yeah, that's fine. If you want to increase the price, go ahead. But the people who just paid you a 1-year fee like a month ago, honor it until the end of their billing cycle.
Right.
That's what you should do. So I will see. I'll report back in the next podcast on what actually happens. I'm sure we'll know within 2 weeks. But here's the way that we would typically handle things. Like we operate on the principle of do what's best for the customer, but is still very fair. So in fact, with the Mike Mandel Hypnosis Academy, the way we sell it is it's monthly. And you can keep paying monthly as long as you want, or you can upgrade to the lifetime package. We never force anyone to. And no matter what rate you're on, it doesn't matter because it's all credited back against the cost of your lifetime membership. So you can be a member for 1 year, 2 year, and then you can eventually say, you know what, I like this lifetime deal. I want to upgrade right now. You email Vanessa in support and she gives you a custom quote.
Wonderful.
That's the way we think you should treat customers. And I'll let you all know how it works out. But they have screwed up. That's why I'm not saying their name.
Right.
And I think they're going to fix it because they are an honorable company. That's it.
That's very good, Chris. Very well put. Very, very strong. Yeah. Excellent, man.
Yeah.
And you said it so confidently. I think we can go right into our
talk about confidence.
main point. Today we're talking about self-confidence, and we're just going to throw this stuff out there, and you should get some nuggets you can apply to your own life. I mean, this is actually one of the most sane and useful podcasts we've ever done, and Chris hasn't even seen it yet.
I haven't seen the notes yet.
I've reined in so much of the insanity. And as you can imagine, it's been a difficult thing to do.
That is
My brain is
difficult.
almost exploding. When we had a medical doctor come from Australia with another medical doctor to train with us, and he said he came in through the podcast. He said, but he hates all the stupid things we
I
do.
remember, you're talking about
And I said,
Michael.
yeah,
we won't
say
use
his
last
name.
names.
But he
because
was very
it's-
nice
yeah.
about it. I said, we're not stopping. I said, this is my outlet for my humor.
Yeah.
And I don't have another one. It's either that or go crazy in a mall with a freaking axe. So let's stick with this
This
model.
is better.
So
I love these podcasts.
let's talk about it.
I-
Self-confidence is not the same as self-esteem.
Okay, that is
You wanna
a
explore
very
that
good point.
point?
Yeah, well, I mean, we haven't talked about this at all, so I'm not going to read the notes ahead. I don't think
Good.
you've explained this, but my understanding is that self-esteem is what you think about yourself, your belief about your self-worth, whereas
Bingo.
self-confidence is how you project yourself outwards.
Yeah,
to others.
self-esteem is evaluating your intrinsic
Mhm.
worth.
Mhm.
Remember the difference between embarrassment and humiliation. You know,
Oh yeah, I guess if you're humiliated, it's because you feel bad about something
Yeah.
you've done. Maybe is that right?
I don't know. I just
or
felt
if
like
you're
throwing it out there.
if you're embarrassed, it's sort of funny, but you haven't done anything wrong.
right.
So if you're humiliated, usually it's because you've done
What was that word?
It was just if you're humiliated, typically that would mean you've done something you shouldn't have done.
Okay,
or
enough,
you were
enough
discovered.
talk about
right?
high-powered handguns. Look, self-confidence is not the same as self-esteem. And you're right. You're absolutely right. Here's how I put it. Self-esteem is about seeing yourself as having intrinsic value,
Yes.
significance, and importance. What the reformers would say, the imago Dei, that carrying the image of God, that human beings have an intrinsic worth and are different than every other species on earth.
Would you say that is a necessary component of confidence, that you can't have self-confidence without first having self-esteem?
That's a very good question. I hadn't even thought
That's
of that.
my gut. My gut says yes. You cannot be outwardly confident unless you believe that you have worth.
That's a very good point. And I had not thought about this. I'm wondering now if using the techniques and the tools that we'll talk about today
Mhm.
to build self-confidence, if that then builds one's sense
Anything
of
that
intrinsic worth.
assumes
Confidence creates confidence. Yeah.
And esteem would be part of self-esteem would be part of that. I would
You know what my
think.
gut says about this?
What?
Hi, I'm 5 years old. Okay, so when you said the gut thing, I just thought of that right away. And for those of you listening, sound was done with my mouth. It wasn't a new release.
For the audio people.
Right.
Yeah.
So, self-esteem, seeing yourself as having intrinsic value, undermining someone's self-esteem is one of the worst things you can do to a person.
Oh, sure.
Their self-image, like.
Yeah, well, and gaslighting probably falls under that category. I was going to say that's
one of the absolute worst, because gaslighting is to make the person feel like they're losing their mind.
Yeah, that something they believe to be true is definitely not true, and they're going crazy, and
right?
Whatever the case may be.
Right.
Yeah.
Certain relatives come to mind immediately. Now, having said that, but think about it: if we undermine someone's self-esteem, not just gaslighting, but even keeping people out of the tribe, out of the group, is a terrible thing to do.
Oh, sure. You're sending an unconscious signal
that they have no value.
You're not important to us,
yep.
Which, if you think back to Tony Robbins and his 6 human needs model,
right?
We need connection, right? Connection. And if you don't have connection, it can be a problem.
It's emotionally starving. I said, beware of those who invalidate you or devalue you.
Yeah, don't hang out with them.
Yeah, and it's a terrible thing, because it's just some people do it as a way of life. You know, they just do this to people they don't like. We've all seen people bullied and everything and treated like crap, but it's a nasty thing.
Do you know we have not mentioned these terms probably in at least a couple of years on this podcast, but this makes me think back to basement people and balcony people.
That is years ago. We probably 6 years ago.
So it's worth a quick recap. You can tell me if I get this correct.
Yeah, you go ahead.
So basement people tend to be the kind of people who want to drag you down. That is devaluing you, right? You're not important. I'm going to drag you down. You think too much of yourself. Pull them down, right? Balcony people are reaching over and lifting you up. That was
to their level.
Lifting you. They're elevating you. They are granting you, not granting you like they have special powers, but they're helping you see yourself as more valuable, i.e. self-esteem. They're helping you promote a self-esteem rich
mindset.
Brain.
Yeah.
Mindset.
And I'm thinking of this. This was actually, it was a visual metaphor, and it was a church youth group. And there was a big strapping guy, the biggest guy in the building, and he stood on a table. And the littlest girl, he would try to lift her up onto the table, and she would be able to drag him off the table over and over and over. And that was the message, was beware of people who drag you down.
It's a metaphor.
It's easier to be dragged down than to lift other people up.
Yeah.
But it's worth building that into your life.
That's why we say hang around balcony people and do your best to lift people up in life. If you do that, think about what that means for rapport too. People will like you if you're always the one that's lifting people up and appreciating them, and essentially giving them the opportunity to have more of that self-esteem mindset, I just said.
I know. Ding.
Which will lead to self-confidence. Yeah.
Now, self-confidence, though, we've talked about self-esteem with all those, but self-confidence isn't about your intrinsic value. It's all about what you are capable of doing.
Yeah, that you're certain. It's, again, Tony Robbins' model here, the need for certainty. So if you feel certain that you can get up and present on a topic, let's say, or you feel certain that you can get on a bicycle and ride a long distance and have a good time doing it with your buddies or something like that, or certain that if you walk up to that pretty girl over there, even if she is not interested, you don't care. You're certain of yourself that you just wanted to introduce yourself. Whatever the case may be, that's important.
That's true.
That speaks to the outward. Self-confidence is more of it's an inward mindset that leads to outward
expression and performance. Like, when I was a long-haired freak, I was a chick magnet in my youth. And one woman said to me, and I'm always been below average
below average intelligence.
I've always been presented as below average appearance. I'm not a great looking guy. I had great hair at one point, and I can deal with that. It doesn't bother me at all, because a woman said to me once, she said, women are always attracted to intelligent, funny, and confident men.
Yeah.
Captain Self-Confidence.
He's looking at himself on the monitor. That's how confident he is. I also want to point out, for if you're listening to this and you're a hypnotist or a coach of any kind, we always say that what should people do in every hypnosis session? What should every hypnotist do with their clients at every session?
Well, you want to put some ego strengthening suggestions.
Ego strength, which is about self-esteem, right? So it's building up your ego is building up your self-esteem, your self-worth, which is going to lead to confidence if that model holds.
Right. And for everyone living in Kirkland Lake, we'll put some definitions in the notes so you'll understand what we're talking about. So as we move along here, Chris, who do you know, obviously me, but who do you know who has enormous self-confidence?
You know, the
Well,
first
that was
person
a weird beginning.
first person
That was a
that
Michael
you
C.
know,
Anthony thing.
the
You
first
know?
person that came to mind is actually Adam, our jiu-jitsu.
Oh, yeah,
our
good
jiu-jitsu
point. Good point.
friend Adam. Adam, I would say, has a lot of self-confidence. Now, in some areas, it isn't justified, but in many areas, it is. Yeah, he's. Yeah.
I'm wondering where he's going with this.
It occurred to me that you can have confidence that because you believe something so strongly, you may be wrong about it.
It doesn't have to be anchored in reality.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
this isn't to do with Adamness at all, but there are
It is
people
now.
who are very confident in talking about the Earth is flat or something like that,
okay.
right?
That's what you're talking about.
It's not grounded
Adam
in
does
any
believe the Earth is
actual
flat.
science, but that's just an extreme example of how somebody can be very confident. And it's all just a bunch of BS.
That's
But
freaking amazing.
So, and that, you know, sometimes you'll hear people that describing that as overconfidence. My point is, Adam, when you think about how he will present himself to others around
Yeah.
his jujitsu
Oh,
skills,
gosh,
his
yeah.
ability to teach,
Yeah.
his ability to perform these
Yes.
techniques, talk about the value of these techniques compared to other systems, he's uber confident.
Yeah, he is.
And it's all
he's damn
justified.
good at it.
It's all
He's still
justified.
the toughest guy I know. I mean, he really
Yeah,
is.
so he's very confident.
Now, my question is, what abilities are you, Chris Thompson, confident about? And what are you prepared to do today
Yeah.
to explain that to me?
You know, I am very confident in, so this makes me think back to many, many years ago. The two things that I realized I enjoy and I'm good at
Uh-oh.
are teaching and learning. Learning and teaching. I think they go in a loop. Learning
Teaching?
stuff, I'm very confident. Very confident in
Yeah,
my ability to learn new material.
Oh, yeah. If you want to learn
Very-
something, you really knuckle
very
down on it.
confident in my ability to distill it down to what's important and be
Yep.
able to convey that, communicate that to someone else. And I've done that through my life as a stock analyst, as obviously in jiu-jitsu,
Yep.
and swimming. I was a swimming instructor and lifeguard for a long time. I mean,
being the
I can
CEO of this system.
marketing
Yeah.
stuff, anything to do with hypnosis,
Of what we
of
do,
course,
yeah.
what we do now, duh. So breaking things down into their components, communicating them in a way that is useful with relevant metaphors and stories. And I'm very good at that.
Yes, you certainly
Mm-hmm.
are. Now, you notice how all of this fits in with Robert Dilts' logical levels. So
Yeah.
self-confidence is about, I think it's about beliefs
Mhm.
and capabilities. Remember, beliefs are
Those
above
two,
capabilities.
yeah, we should quickly.
Well, you go ahead.
Maybe we'll have a graphic put up here.
Yes.
Ross, if we have one, throw a graphic up to make the Dilts logical levels model clear here on the
Yeah.
screen. But at the very bottom, we have environment.
That's
and then
the world you live in.
when people get stuck there, they're at effect. Things are happening to them. They're not
Life
at
is happening to
cause. You
them,
want
yep.
to be responsible for things. Above environment, we have behavior.
Right.
Behavior is what you do, how you behave.
And when you behave in a different
Mhm.
way, you will affect your environment immediately.
Above behavior, we have is it capabilities?
Yes,
above
it
that?
is.
Yes,
Which
capabilities.
are
Right.
abilities.
Yeah.
And you cannot behave in a way that you're not capable of doing. So building in new abilities,
Mhm.
new capabilities will enable you to change your behaviors, which will then work its way down and affect your environment directly.
Above that, we have beliefs.
Right.
Because if you have a belief that you have a certain capability, you're more likely to go out and actually get it.
Right. Or if you have a belief
yeah.
that you can get
Yeah.
the information, the skill set that you need, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you have a false belief like I can fly, you will have the capability to jump off a cliff.
And of course,
and
above
not
that,
fly.
and not fly.
And-
Above that, we have identity.
Right,
So
above
the
beliefs
I
is
am
identity.
statements
And
and
that,
so
so these are the two we're talking about here is beliefs and identity. I believe certain
and
things.
capabilities.
Yeah, well, and capabilities. Yeah, capabilities, beliefs, and identities so yeah, we got environment, we got behavior, we
Yeah.
got capabilities,
Yeah.
we got beliefs,
Yeah.
we've got identities,
Right.
And then at the very top, which we're not talking
We have
about,
mission.
we have mission / spirituality, all that stuff.
Spiritual, not spirituality.
Spiritual. Okay.
It's not a stuck state. Now, this is interesting because if we add new beliefs to our mindset, then we can gain new capabilities. When we have
Mhm.
new capabilities, our self-confidence starts to rise.
Right. Okay. So I like that. Yeah. It's not really at the identity level, although it can be. You can say, I'm a confident person. Well, in what ways? You can be confident in some things, and everyone has areas that they're confident in, even
For
if it's
sure, yeah.
confident about not being confident.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So
Very
there's a nice
confident,
reframe
right, that's
for you.
very
all.
nice. Now, the interesting thing is, the question is always, is your view of your capabilities, which is your belief about your capabilities, is it accurate? That's going to be the question, isn't it?
That's true, because how do you determine that? You can internally, it's part of a meta program, right? In NLP, you would have either internal validation
or external check,
or external, somebody going, "Oh, you're a really wonderful guitar player, Mike." And you go, "Gee, thanks, Chris." And that is his validation if he's got external meta program, right? But if you have internal, and then every time you go, "Oh yeah, that sounds pretty good," but it doesn't sound as good as when Slash plays it.
Yeah.
Oh, I must suck. I'm not very
Well, he's
good.
got a pacemaker, so it's different. Now, listen, while we're talking about this, that's very interesting. The meta program of internal versus external validation. I have switched the meta program, and not intentionally.
Oh, tell me about
I
it.
used to have external validation. And consequently, I was always waiting for my wife to say I did a good job, or look at you with your mug. All this stuff. I had all my certificates that I'd earned, graphoanalysis and NLP and hypnosis and certificates all over. And
External
these are the awards I won
validation.
and all this stuff. And we just cleared it all out. I mean, I've got stupid pictures.
threw
of
it
Gus
all away.
Grissom now. I really
Yeah.
did throw I didn't throw the awards out. But
Oh, so you
but
are
they just
still
look really
validated.
nice. It would
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
stupid to throw them out. But pieces of paper, I don't need a piece of paper to say I'm a good NLP trainer.
That's true. Yeah.
And that has been freeing for me.
So you technically don't have a certificate that you're an NLP trainer.
That's
then.
correct. That
That's
is absolutely
hilarious.
correct. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I don't have a certificate that I'm a hypnosis trainer.
That's true.
I don't even
yeah.
have one that I'm a human being.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I like that. You know what? That's a really good little side loop about when you take an argument to the extreme like that, you make a strong point. Remember I talked to you
Your
years
father
ago
used
about
to
how
do that.
my
Yeah.
father wouldn't do it in logic discussions or in arguments or anything like that, but just as a physics principle, we would think about the extreme ends of a problem mathematically, statistically, and physics, whatever the case may be, to understand where balance lies in the world.
Right.
But I really like this as a debating tactic too, because, oh, you don't have a certificate, you must not be one. Well, I don't have a certificate that says I'm a freaking human.
Yeah. You know who else didn't have a certificate or a belt? Was Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, yeah. Now, this is interesting. We are attracted. We've got confidence in the Mandel triangle, which is the same as self-confidence. Remember, Mandel triangle is confidence?
Yes, confidence, congruence, and intention or
intention,
conviction.
conviction,
If you
yeah.
want to use a C word, so it's CCC.
When we say confidence, we do mean self-confidence. I mean, it pretty well is that. And we are all attracted to confident people. Everybody is, male and female, gender specificity goes out the window. We are attracted to people who are confident. Now, make a point here that we're not saying arrogant.
Yeah.
Some people mistake the two.
Now, do you need to hear your name?
Why are my
to feel
hands
confident?
cataleptic and
I
in
don't
the
know.
air? They have
Mine
been
are
for a
too.
while.
Do you
Okay.
need to hear your name to feel confident?
No.
Okay, that's good because I've just renamed the Mandel triangle to the 3C model.
I've renamed it the Keith Richards model.
All right.
All right. But people who are attractive to us because they are confident, they seem to have well-functioning lives and they come across as resourceful. We are naturally, as human beings, drawn to people who are resourceful because they can provide something for us.
That makes so much sense because if you think about in the physical world, what did people do? Like if there was a river and, oh, there's gold in that there river, they're all rushing out to gather the resources.
Like Jack the Rusher.
Yeah, like Jack the Outrushers.
Yeah.
And so if people have resources, we're going to rush over to people who we're going to flock to people who seem resourceful.
Right.
And
you know,
what is it going to give us? A feeling of connection and also the feeling of certainty. If someone else has a resource that you think will be fun to be around, that gives you a sense of certainty. So it builds up all those human needs.
Yeah. And then you're in like Jack the Bear. That's very, very nice. Now, examples from films. Here's some examples of people who seemed resourceful.
Is James Bond on your list?
Oh,
he is. It's the first one.
James Bond, but not in the last James Bond film, which was a
Which
piece
one
of
was that?
crap. I've expunged it from my mind.
Which film are we?
When it was Daniel Craig. Can't remember what it's called. It was the most recent one.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
You haven't. You'd remember.
I haven't been
depressive.
to a theater in 4 years.
He's not 007 anymore. He's just this down sort of, you know.
Is he playing 007 though? But he's just doing it crap, or is the actual
it's just a role
character?
for him. Like,
the role is, I'm not 007 anymore. I'm just some lame guy. That?
Yeah.
Okay.
And spoiler alert, he dies.
Oh.
And he's just crap. He's not a secret agent. He's just sort of the weight of the world. And, you know, he's trying to figure out who he is. And he's really soft and kinesthetic. I hated that. That is not the confident Bond. The Sean Connery one was.
Yes.
And early Daniel Craig was fantastic.
Yes.
Roger Moore, not so much. It always kind of irritated me as the saint. Now, Wonder Woman, for the women here, super confident.
Wonder Woman. Oh yeah.
And with good
Big
reason.
time. Yeah.
What is it these people do? They overcome immense adversity. And that's why they have confidence based on their own past events,
In fact, yeah, both of us in different ways also overcame adversity. We were both little skinny kids that got picked on.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. That's right.
And that don't happen no more.
No,
Right.
it don't happen to me.
So
anymore.
yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Now, I've given the example before, but Harvey Specter from Suits, the show.
Harvey Specter, the character in Suits. Yeah.
The lawyer, the
Yeah.
top closer in New York, even though it's filmed in Toronto. He always went into the courtroom with empty hands.
Yeah.
Never had a briefcase, never had a folio, never had a cell phone, nothing. Just would walk in.
And present a document
Yeah.
from the inside breast pocket or
Not
something
even.
like that.
He'd just talk.
Yeah, he would just talk and he would.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to point out one thing though.
Uh-oh,
Also,
you pointed three fingers at me
I
when
want
you
to
said
point
it.
out this is kind of an important thing for
All
all the parents out there or anyone who interacts with young children.
Yep.
You've heard the term helicopter parenting,
I
where
have.
you're just hovering over your kid at the playground to make sure they don't fall and stuff like that. Okay, overcoming adversity has a spectrum, right? You can overcome freaking, I don't know, like
A reasonable amount of adversity. Or you
horrible
can take care
stuff.
of
Like
everything. Yeah.
you
Like if your
hear
kids
people
can be attacked by a
back-
Portuguese man of war when you're swimming. You're not going to say, "Oh, deal with that yourself. Learn to grow."
Yeah,
Well, they're wrapped in the
I was
tentacles.
going to use an example
rub
that
it with urine to
could
get
have
rid
been
of it.
triggering for some people, so I won't use it, but you can imagine where I was going there. Bad stuff happens, really, really, really bad stuff, and you overcome it. That's overcoming adversity. That is self-confidence inspiring. But small stuff too, okay? If you are a parent and you're pouring the glass of milk for your kid all the time because, Johnny might spill the milk. No, let your kid do stuff for him or herself that they will screw up and they will figure out and learn from. If your kid gets up in the morning and chooses to wear some weird clothes that are not weather appropriate, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? They're going to be too hot or too cold.
Yeah.
And they will learn from that. Those are little learning moments. Let the kids have those. They will become more confident and more capable.
Oh, that's horrible, Chris. You just triggered. It's horrible because you just triggered something horrendous with me.
Oh, what?
A number of years ago, in the late 1980s, we hung out with a different group of people from this church we used to go to, and other couples our age and slightly younger, some of them. We were going over for this afternoon barbecue, and my wife said, "Oh, you're gonna freeze wearing that t-shirt." So she's on my case. I wound up wearing jeans, a tight wool turtleneck sweater.
Uh-oh.
We got there. It was like 88 degrees.
And you're
Fahrenheit.
just
Everybody's
sweating
in
underneath
shorts.
this
I'm just
wool.
sweating buckets. That was a horrible thing when you said, dressing
is-
inappropriately for the weather.
There
you
you
can
go.
understand why I am the way I am now.
Dress in layers, people.
Now, let's talk about confidence, self-confidence.
Yeah.
Me playing backgammon against any human being in the world. in a
Oh, yeah,
match.
you've
In
got
a
the
match.
confidence.
Yeah, it's just.
And soon we're going to move on to actual ways to get this
Well,
confidence.
yeah, we
right?
are. Now,
Yeah.
abilities and capabilities,
Mhm.
I think they reach a threshold where it becomes confidence in that ability. Like say you want to,
Mhm.
you want to be a pretty good runner or something. So you start running and you're not doing very good time. And so maybe I won't train tomorrow. Then as you get better and better, your time improves, your cardio improves. Then you start running faster and faster. Now you become a confident runner.
Yeah,
A self-confident runner.
At least
Yeah.
confidence in aspects, right? I'm confident that I can run.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm confident that I can complete this distance, this race.
Yeah. Now
not
it becomes
necessarily
confident
fast.
to compete.
Now
even.
I'm
Yeah.
confident that I can do well for my age group
Mhm.
or whatever the case may be. Oh, now I feel really darn good that I'm elite performance. Yeah.
Right, which is all based on the fact that you're improving an ability, and the
Incrementalism.
threshold then kicks in,
Mhm.
and you realize you're confident. I think you slip across that line without realizing. How can you tell someone is self-confident? Well, they got a can-do attitude. There's not the self-doubt. Oh, this won't work. No, I don't think I can. It's
Yeah.
take
How
on
do you
things even
know
if they
that
don't
they're
know.
confident?
pitching.
It comes across in congruence too. That's why it makes so much sense with the Mandel triangle.
Brilliant.
If they are confident, they will be congruent about whatever they're doing.
Yeah, that's right. Their body language, their words, their internal state, all of these things are sending one consistent message. People who are self-confident are comfortable with responsibility.
Totally. Yes.
So it's back to the can-do attitude. They'll take on the responsibility, but likewise, confident people will not take on things that are beyond anything they can do.
Well,
They
they'll
won't
know,
just say yes.
they'll have an awareness around their limits,
Right,
Or
that's
they won't be, good point. They won't, not even their limits, but what they're willing to do versus not to. They'll be confident to say, no, I am not doing that for you. No, I'm not available for that meeting. No, I don't have a slot in my calendar to help you for free.
Right. Now we're going to talk, a mention. I had a friend years ago. I haven't seen him a number of years ago. Let's just call him Gary because it was his name.
Okay. Kasparov?
He said no, I saw him second row center, Savoy Theater playing Nigel Short. He did say to me, I do not accept that I have any limitations at all. Now, unfortunately, if you knew him, you'd be saying, Dick. He was worthy of the Dick chant because his self-image was so narcissistic. It was based on believing he had abilities he did not have.
That's funny.
Avoid narcissism. Posture.
So I guess he doesn't ever need to take an elevator or the stairs. He can just jump.
Float.
Just jump up to the 13th floor.
Posture and body language is, why is it always 13?
I don't know.
Posture and body language is one of power, but not aggression.
Yeah.
Confident people stand and move a certain way.
That's true. Confidence can look aggressive if it's overdone. In fact, if it's not even
if it goes beyond assertion.
If it's the wrong kind of emotion up here, it's going to lead to an outward display of aggression rather than confidence.
Yeah, you want to come across as a can-do person. You don't want to come across as a T-1000 freaking Terminator.
Yes.
You know, because it's too scary.
Later, believe me always.
Okay. I didn't know you were going to do that. That's good. Now, listen, confident people are comfortable with prolonged eye contact.
Totally. Do you know that I am that way now? But like you said, slipping across the line and not knowing that you were slipping across the line.
You're speaking eye contact.
Yeah, I'm doing it now.
It doesn't scare me at all.
It is totally. It's a weird thing when one day, because I didn't used to have that ability where I felt confident to make eye contact with people. It's very easy when it's just a camera here. But then I discovered, I'm making eye contact and it isn't weird at all. And it only got weird because I was suddenly aware of it. Yeah. And then it wasn't weird again.
A meta position on it. Yeah. Like right now. Scary.
It's a really nice thing. Think about it. Maybe this is a good empowering question for you all. What have you noticed suddenly that you do really well that you hadn't necessarily realized until now? And you can enjoy feeling confident about that.
Nice. At which point I give you Malocchio, Italian, the evil eye.
Ooh,
that's the defense. It's the metal sign. Now listen.
Eye contact is a really good one. Practice doing it.
People who are, we're getting a list and now we're going to show you how to improve your self-confidence. But this last on this list, how you can tell is people who are self-confident listen to others without hogging the conversation. Now, I'm not talking about interrupting. We all do that when we're quick-minded. And my wife is a complainer that I'm constantly interrupting her, and I always do it with Chris. But it's because I'm just sort of trying to follow it and clarify on the fly. But hogging the conversation is more like what I'm doing right now.
Yeah. And no. I'm laughing because one of the things I hate most is being interrupted constantly, right? But that's an area where I think even I can do some big improvement.
Oh, no kidding.
Because if I probably could get more confident around the idea that, hey, it doesn't freaking matter if someone interrupts you. Just shut up, sit back and wait. Nothing's going to happen.
I was tempted to interrupt you, but I did. Like Jack the freaking interrupter. Now, I said narcissism is a weakness. You know, the hogging, the listening to yourself. It's okay. You're enjoying yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
Such a great comeback. Now,
that's a great line.
You don't have to be you don't actually have to be self-confident at first as you're building it. And we don't say fake it till you make it.
As a frame.
We say fake it until you become it. Talk about the as if frame.
Yeah, well, we call this the as if frame
we don't
only
call
because
it
that's what it.
Yeah.
Thank you. We only call it that because that's what it's called in the field of neurolinguistic programming. It is a reframe. And the as if reframe is, well, okay, you don't have it. Well, what would it be like if you did have it? And what would it be like if you act as if you have it right now?
Right.
What would you stand like?
How would you
what
move?
Would you say to yourself? How would you move? Who would you interact with? And how would you interact with them if you were that, whatever it is that you want to be?
It's a brilliant thing. Mm-hmm. And so you fake it until you become it.
But not brain surgery or flying an aircraft.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, the interesting thing is how you can seem to be more self-confident and then how to be more self-confident. It's how you can seem to be more self-confident.
I think it's that Clark Hull quote. Again, we bring this up a lot because Clark Hull, 1933,
Yale University.
Hypnosis and Suggestibility. Yeah, he was a professor at Yale and he was actually one of Milton Erickson's professors.
Yeah, I think it was his first teacher.
And he did hypnosis and he wrote the line, anything that assumes trance causes trance, which is wonderful for using catalepsy and things like that.
Yeah.
But we've also realized that it is essentially
it applies across the board.
Yeah. Is it the as if frame? Basically, it's the as if frame right there. Anything that assumes X, whatever X is, will cause X. And we often refer to the example of in a Hollywood film, the leading actor and actress, they have a relationship on film. And then after the movie's done, they're in an actual relationship.
Right, because they've been doing these love scenes and everything, not necessarily bopping in the beater or anything, but they're
acting as if on camera, they're acting as
the
if they're in love.
And then on the 4th of July.
Yeah. There you go.
And then it happens. It transfers over into life. Like if you pretend you're angry and pretend you're really angry,
you'll get angry.
And
so that's why we say laughing. James Hazelrig taught us the idea of laughing on purpose. If you laugh on purpose, your brain doesn't know the difference between laughing because it was funny versus laughing on purpose and then feeling like, I'm in a good mood now. Something must have been funny. No, nothing was funny, but it doesn't matter. Neurologically, the same things fire.
Why is it funny? There's the question,
why is it funny? Michael
which
C.
we'll be
Anthony.
discovering. Now, how to seem more confident? Move more quickly, especially if you're older. People who move quickly, move briskly, are perceived as younger. When people perceive you as younger, they won't be going, "Are you okay, Grandpa? You got a nice cardigan on? Let me help you on the escalator." I was outraged when I'd come back from teaching Architecture of Hypnosis. I've been teaching all week, and I got on the subway. The Toronto subway system is pretty good, and it was fairly crowded. I just walked in, but I was tired.
Yeah.
And I got in, and this very nice young Chinese fellow, maybe 30, stood up and said, "Sir," and offered me a seat. I nearly killed him.
You were so offended.
I'm offended. I'm a martial arts instructor. Are you saying I can't say no? But I said, "Oh, thank you, but I'm okay." But yeah, I was moving slowly. I wasn't coming across as powerful.
Because you were tired.
I was tired.
Probably,
I was exhausted. He overworks me. Now,
I
make eye contact and listen without interrupting. There it is.
Listening without interruption is a really important skill. I have been working on that for a long time. Still working on it. Mike's still listening.
See, I mastered it.
Would you like to talk? Yeah.
No, I'm just enjoying it.
It's a hard one.
Let's fly down this list. What did you say?
It's a hard one to master.
I didn't hear the second word.
It's because if you're an excited person, I love talking about this stuff we're talking about, so we're constantly interrupting each other because we're having a great time. But what happens is it bleeds into the serious stuff. So if we're trying and failing to have like a real discussion around what we want to do in our business or how we want to organize a class or something like that, it's so easy to slip into the joking, excited interruption phase. It's a real skill to be able to transition between those things and actually get into listening mode. Yes, exactly.
Brilliant. Now, I said, we're going to fly through these, how to seem, and then we'll do the real ones. Take up space when you're sitting or standing. Take up more space. Confident people dominate the room by taking up space.
Body language. It sends a signal that I am not afraid. I don't have to squeeze myself into this small little environment.
You're right. And
I'm confident.
And some degree of groin bracketing can actually help you here. By not constricting, if you're male, not constricting the wedding tackle by, crossing one leg over the other. That's not sending a picture of strength. Is sending a picture of protection to avoid invalidating and disenfranchising yourself. So what you need instead, taking up space with the knees apart says, according to Julius Fast and other body language experts, I am so confident that it's like the bagman of Edmund the Confessor.
I don't need to protect
They're walking
this
around
area
with the wedding tackle out of a hole in the leather bag because they were so tough. They're offering the freaking target all the time. In fact, Prince Charles, now King Charles III, he walks with his hands behind his back. People in tremendous positions of power do that. They are exposing, not to the view of the passersby.
It's an unconscious signal.
But the target worthiness of the genitalia, but not genitalalia, language police. And by walking with their hands behind their back, they're saying, I'm confident, I'm not afraid of attack.
Okay, so
take up space. All that to say, take up more space.
Just don't be all like this, right?
Like this.
You got to watch the video version for this, obviously, if you're just listening. But, I'm sort of shrinking my shoulders in and stuff. And, hi, I'm Chris Thompson. I'm the one in the red T-shirt and a brick back. No, take up space.
Place your feet solidly, but don't put the weight mostly on one leg. If you stand in a bar and, you're looking for
and you
sort of and you stand with your arms, your head down. Now my head goes down because I've got
plant your feet firmly on the ground.
Facet syndrome, but I don't care. So if you sit like that and you have one knee sort of, you look weak. You got to do the taking up space. Lean on the bar. Put your thumbs in your belt with your index fingers pointing at the wedding tackle again.
You know who not to model when sitting?
You?
Justin Trudeau.
Why is that?
Oh, he just sits all awkward and
like
weird.
an infant.
He does not come across as confident in taking up space when he's sitting down. I'm not going to say any more. I don't want to keep this political, but yeah.
I agree.
Just from a
That's
body
interesting.
language perspective.
Yeah, just purely from a body language.
Oh, he comes across so weak.
But that's not, but his father, Fidel Castro, looks so, oh, just kidding. Now look. Google it.
It's
Google
funny.
it. Now, while we're on this, I didn't say it. I just said his father, and then I paused and I said Fidel Castro. I was starting another sentence.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Now, here's when you meet someone for the first time, smile and instantly make eye contact. The rule of primacy. Yeah, you raise your eyebrows if you want. The smile and the eye contact. That sends an incredibly powerful message of primacy. If other people later on are told that you're not a nice person or something, that will create such an imprint immediately that it will override what they're saying, very likely.
Yeah. Oh, I want to, the rapport vortex that we talked about
maybe
one or two podcasts ago. You don't need another person to do this. This isn't the same. It's related, though, just in the way of making other people feel good in a customer service situation.
Okay.
I was reading in an online forum about a service or sales center of some sort, and someone said, oh, don't go to that one, the one in Kitchener, Ontario. It's horrible. And I thought, I wonder why. I don't know. I've never been there before. But generally speaking, when, let's say something's really busy, you need service, and you could tell they're kind of busy and they give you crappy service by default.
Yeah.
And usually if you're the type of person who doesn't know what we're about to say, you get kind of upset by it, and then the negativity feeds on itself, and the service person's in a bad mood, you're in a bad mood, and you just leave and go, oh, these guys are all dicks, to use the technical term, right?
Right.
Here's what I do in almost every single situation like this. I assume that I'm just in a great mood and I can deal with whatever presented. So if I walk in and I can calibrate that these guys are definitely busy, and I walk up, oh, sir, yes, I'm here to pick up my new car. And he goes, oh, yeah, give me a few minutes. We're really swamped. Immediately smile and go, no problem. I'm not in a rush. Take your time. Something like that.
Yeah, that's good. I would probably say, no problem. I understand.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say take your time. That now may have extended.
Yeah, but if I meet,
back to being in the bar with Adam.
It's no problem at all. I've got some time. Yeah. No worries. I know you guys are busy. Something like that.
That's good.
And I'm smiling. So immediately this guy's at ease. He's not thinking, oh,
that you're stressing him, that you're looking at your watch.
And then when he comes over, I'm going to smile again. He goes, oh, sir, we can take care of this now. That's awesome. I've been really looking forward to this appointment. Glad to meet you. My name's Chris. Something like that.
Yeah, now
because it sets the stage.
It sets the stage, and offering a $20 tip up front, it greases the shit. Let me. No, wait, back up for a second. Remember this week? Throw this in for the humor. When we were at Gabby's, this restaurant we used to go to after British Jiu-Jitsu years ago, we ordered a bunch of food, and whichever guy would order his drink last. So, and I'll have a Heineken. And the waitress, okay, and she's writing. As she's walking away, I would say, no rush on the Heineken. And the waitress would invariably say, oh, okay, it's not even my order. And the other guys think
she would invariably forget to bring it.
Just not bother. It wasn't important because I said, oh, no rush.
You used to do that to me all the time because I'd order a drink and I would say, also, can I get a glass of water with a lot of ice in it? Because I was really thirsty after jiu-jitsu class.
Problems, yep.
And so I'd always ask the waitress for, if we have a glass of wine or something, I'd say, can I have a big glass of water? And then you'd say, no rush on the water as she walked away.
It's the timing, yeah.
Every single time she didn't bring me the water and I have to ask her like 3 times.
Now, this is interesting. You brought up here's the second part of this with the other bifurcation. You brought up customer service.
Yes.
And I just read a thing yesterday, people complaining. Have you seen this new thing that's happening online? I have to do serious.
Well, I don't even know what you're talking about.
You do get a service online or a product or something, and they ask if you want to give them a tip.
Really?
Yeah. And you can click on a thing if you want to, you want to add a tip to your order. They're recommending 20 and sometimes 30%. So you buy, an expanding swimming pool or something for your kids, and it's $80. They say, would you like to add a tip to your order? 20%.
Who does that go to? The person who put it in the box and mailed it to you? I don't think so,
I think
right?
It's an obscenity.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. That's so funny.
Okay, now let's continue this. Smiling, making eye contact, the primacy. This works. Paul Moyer had a friend, Dave, I hadn't met, and I planned on the second I saw him, I was going to do this. And he came into Paul's apartment with his wife. I stood up so he could see me, smiled warmly, made eye contact. He and I hit it off immediately. He's a very good guy, but it's
if
done
you
that.
want to get good at making friends and having people like
always
you,
make sure you raise your eyebrows, smile, and make eye contact.
Smile at people. It is probably the easiest thing in the world that you can do to get more confident around dealing with people.
Yeah, don't smile like my dad did.
Yeah.
Okay, now how to be more self-confident.
Okay.
Get out of your rut. Learn something new.
Because capabilities will give you beliefs that you have those
Master
capabilities.
something. Become an expert at something. Intelligence is appealing to others, and it will give you greater personal power.
This all makes sense insofar as confidence must relate to an area of your life. You know, just generally, I'm confident at everything. No, I'm not confident that I could repair that speaker on the bookshelf up there.
I could do that.
I couldn't do that, right? Well, maybe I could. I don't know. But
yeah, you probably could.
If I had an old meter, I don't know, soldering iron. But yeah, probably I'm going to throw it away and buy a new one because I'm confident I could do that.
Yeah.
I could buy a new one.
I'm good at buying stuff. I'm really good at that.
You got to figure out what you want. All of these things, you must ask yourself that magic question in the beginning is what do you want or what do you want to have happen?
Yeah.
Aim your, not attempts, aim your efforts, aim your learnings to an area that you want your life to be better in.
Right. Like if someone, you're attempting to learn new things and someone says, oh, do you have any hobbies? You say, yes, watching television.
Interrupting
people. It's
people.
not a freaking hobby.
Yeah. I don't need to get more confident at interrupting people. I'm pretty good at that already.
You're damn good at it.
Yeah.
You're Jack the Lad when it comes to interrupting people.
So what
but
do I want to be more confident to? Listening. There you go. Let's both listen.
Goes the show.
Oh, look, the podcast is over because we're both listening.
Now, look, I've also said, use the as if frame. We've already said that whenever you need to radiate confidence, act like you are. Give and receive compliments when appropriate. What's that got to do with confidence? Everything. Confident people aren't afraid of other people doing well or looking good. It's not a contest, guys. When we went to HypnoThoughts live the first time, I was full of attitude. It was all narcissistic, not narcissistic personality disorder, but just narcissistic things. I'll show these SOBs who I am.
Yeah.
And we met all these wonderful people. And I've let go of all that. I mean, I honestly have. Of course, it's taken me almost 70 years to do it. But confident people, you don't have to compete on unnecessary things.
Yeah. I've got another one that I just thought of where
about me? What did I do?
It's nothing to do with you. If
God.
you want to practice your interpersonal skills, one confidence thing that you can do is if you go into a store, like a grocery store, and let's say you're looking for peanut butter.
Yeah.
Usually pretty easy to find, so maybe not a good example. Pick something more rare. But you're looking for peanut butter. But even peanut butter, just walk up to any of the people working the store and say, oh, hi, what aisle will I find the peanut butter in?
Yeah.
Or where will I find peanut butter? Because a lot of times I think people are worried, well, am I gonna be interrupting this person who's, doing something more important? What are they gonna think of me if I ask them this question? No, just go ask the question and do it a bunch of times at different stores until you realize it's easy and people will answer you and they will be happy to answer you.
That's right.
Because that's
it's a
their
baby
job.
step.
Yeah.
And they answer you. They say, numéro 6, monsieur?
Yeah.
Mais pourquoi noir?
Anyway, if you do that and then say, thank you so much. Have a great day. Tell them.
Yeah.
I don't say thank you. I always say thank you so much and hope you have a great day.
You know, the thing I do all the time, and it comes out of confidence. It does. Whenever I see a woman in the supermarket or something ahead of me, and if someone apologizes for, taking too much time or whatever it is, I don't care if the woman's 85. I say, oh, no problem, young woman.
Yeah, that's right. You say that to people
away.
all the time.
Yeah, and it's flattering, but not in a nasty way. You're affirming the person, and when we do that, we seem confident. I'm not telling you to go and tell everybody they look good, like Jack the frickin' good teller.
I do like that idea of giving people
extra friendly, polite to
Yeah.
people, like wait staff and newcomers in your social group. Go out of your way to make people welcome. I used to belong to the Scarborough Chess Club. I won a couple of master strength games, but mostly I haven't in my life. I'm not that good. Maybe 1,800 on a good day. But it took me like 5 months before I realized I didn't want to be there. It was so clicky. Nobody said hi. Nobody looks. They're all a bunch of freaking Enneagram 5s. I said to Heather, I got home, is everybody on the freaking autism spectrum who plays chess except me? Then Heather said, well, maybe you are too. Now, I don't know if I'm saying that as a means of exaggeration. We'll edit this whole stretch. Yeah, I can say. Okay, so welcome people to your social group. Kill the narcissism. Take the focus off yourself.
And what's the next point here? Do not let anyone treat you with disrespect.
Disrespect.
Talk about that, because that is an
Yeah.
important one. If you permit people to be disrespectful to you, what are you?
Yeah, this is
training
Benjamin
yourself to-
Franklin. It is
Mhm.
freaking brilliant. The way you get people to respect you, it's not what you would think. It isn't that we treat people with respect because we respect them. It's the opposite. We respect people who we treat with respect. It's a cause and effect thing.
Mhm.
So if people disrespect you, assertively explain that that is not appropriate and you're asking for respect. They will respect you if you do that. Don't let people walk over you and treat you like a dick. I mean, absolutely do not.
I have no idea how long we've been recording.
I
but
don't.
think
I'm
it's
really
about-
enjoying this.
I think it's about 50 minutes so far.
Okay,
just
so we're
my
going to go
gut
really
feel.
fast through these.
Yeah.
And we're not going to do this too.
Yeah.
Get fit.
Okay.
When you
get
feel
fit.
energized, you'll be more self-confident.
Totally true.
Okay.
We're going to hammer through these now.
Find out what your superpower is. What are you great at? Use it to help other people. Their response will build you up. I got a gift of teaching. I know I'm a good teacher. So I even teach a Bible study group online, as you know, because I'm fascinated by Greek and Hebrew and the scriptures. Find out what you're good at. Use your abilities. The response of other people will build you up. Know when to say no.
Yeah. Know when to say no.
No. Yes. No. Exactly. No.
That is such a
Yeah, I
great
said know when to say
point.
no. You go, yeah.
Learn to say no. And it's very difficult as Enneagram 9. You want to be that rapport builder, the peacekeeper. People will ask you for stuff and you'll say, if you don't say yes, but you say, oh yeah, I think we could probably make that work. You know, it's sort of quasi yes, but
Yeah.
get more confident just saying, you know what? That's just not going to work for me.
Right.
But I can recommend so-and-so, something
Yeah.
like that.
He's right, damn him. Excellent. Surround yourself with people who affirm you, not tear you down. We're back to the basement people,
and balcony.
people.
Yeah.
Fire the nasty, toxic people in your life. Don't just tolerate them. Give people a chance to repent if they treat you like crap. If they don't, whether they're friends or family, personal alert.
You are the CEO of your own life.
love
You
that.
have the permission to hire and fire people, behaviors,
Well,
whatever.
Chris,
We fire each other all the time.
all the time.
And then immediately hire.
Accept
back.
positive criticism.
Mhm.
It helps you change and feel better about yourself.
You know, I think you could have said that with a little bit more
Shut up.
energy.
Kill the negative self-talk. Stop talking about past mistakes.
Right.
The great thing about the past is it's freaking
over. It's
Let
over.
it go. Let it go.
Let it go.
Face
Let
your
it
fears.
go. Yeah.
Front end load the things you don't want to do. An agent told me that years ago. If I had a bunch of appointments and I was dreading, she said, do them first. Front end load
Get
it.
'em out
Then
of the
all your
way.
time is your own. It works. Don't over or under challenge yourself. They're both bad. So find the sweet spot. If you only take on things that are easy to do, you won't build self-confidence.
Yeah, if you wake up in the morning and go, I wonder if I can put my pants on today. Well, that's not particularly.
This
yeah.
was an accomplishment.
Yeah, wow. And actually that goes back to parenting too. Like if you congratulate Johnny because he wrote his name with a red crayon, well, that's wonderful unless he's 12, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Unless he's getting a career and writing his name with red crayons.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody gets paid for that.
so pick appropriate things to challenge yourself.
Don't over challenge yourself either. You know, don't get up and say, oh, you know, I'm going to build my self-esteem. I'm flying to Nepal and I'm going to climb Everest. You know,
That's
I
like-
can do it.
Yeah.
Wrong.
You can fall.
Make realistic goals. Goals you can achieve. Take them on with baby steps and have something powerful to look back on. Realize that you are growing and getting stronger and better. Set up 3 to 5 questions that you can use every day to build your confidence. How will I make my life better today as I become confident and extend my largesse and kindness to other people? Get some good, powerful questions. Practice positive self-talk.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yes.
Remember to laugh.
Laughing is medicine. Laughing makes you feel good, produces the right kinds of hormones in your body, and it's awesome.
And if you do it, smile and laugh all the time, people will wonder what the hell you've been up to.
Which is a good thing.
Now, Chris, give us the empowering question.
Okay, we're going to wrap this pecker up here.
And nail it to
Empowering
a
question.
wall.
What will I start doing today that will ensure that I increase my self-confidence and build up other people in the process?
Brilliant.
That's your empowering question.
Brilliant. Here's
4.
the short meta 5 on the weekend. My wife and I went to see Chris and his wife and one of their daughters at his in-laws. Beautiful, beautiful place in the country. Gorgeous place.
It
that
is.
His
It's really
father-in-law's built essentially by himself with Chris's help. And we're having a great time. We're eating supper. Here's the headline edition. There's a scream from the kitchen.
No,
And
no, no. A scream from the table. My wife screamed.
I thought she was in the kitchen
No,
with you.
She was at the table with you.
Oh my goodness, she saw from there.
Yeah.
Okay, and in my periphery, I saw what essentially looked like an atomic fireball
Mushroom
going off in
cloud.
the kitchen,
Yeah.
followed by a mushroom cloud. And Chris had tried to fill a butane torch to make some creme brulee, and it not filled it. It filled
The handle
the recess
when you turn
in
it
the bottom of
upside
the
down
handle
has
with
a-
liquid
yeah.
butane, which is ice cold, but it evaporates, boils immediately. He throws it in the sink, still lights the thing, and the flame finds its way to the sink, and Chris burned off his eyebrows, all the hair off one arm, and he came in and he stunk of burned hair. I mean, it was
It's
just
the worst smell in the world.
it was absolutely horrible. But he was laughing, and I had to vox him later to make sure his wife hadn't killed him for doing something so dangerous. And instead of, apologizing, instead he explained how it happened, and that never works with wives as far as I'm.
It did work in this case, though.
Anyway, let's
So
just
there you
end
go.
this, Pecker, man.
All right. Thanks again. We'll
And-
see you in the next podcast, and
Good night.